All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday with Wendler. My name is Jim Wendler. I am the author and creator of 531. As always, welcome to the live stream. For the few that are watching, if anyone is watching right now, can you guys please send a message in the chat letting me know with a thumbs up or some other kind of message that you can hear me and see me and everything is solid, and we can get going. All right. So last week, London football played Graham High School. They were also 4-0. We were 4-0. So two undefeated teams. We won, I think, 42-0. I think they crossed the 50-yard line one time. So we played an absolute amazing game. Prior to every game, we always do our mobility and stretching and shit like that during home games in the gym, kind of away from everything. Then we have pregame, and then I have the kids do a few starts, and then I bring the kids together and give them 20 to 30 seconds of the Wendler pep talk. No other coaches are in there, or obviously, and I say some stuff to the kids. And prior to this game, it was the first time I actually got mad at the kids. We had been underperforming during games. I felt, and I think a lot of other people felt like that, and nothing new. And so the first time in, I don't know how many games, God knows how many games I've been out there, I kind of lit into them. And it's not like I'm not super demonstrative or anything like that, but I let the kids know that this was completely unacceptable. They need to get their heads out of their asses and start playing. And I couldn't be prouder of the way the kids responded and played. Not saying that they did that because of me at all, but I thought they did a tremendous job. So we have a game tonight. I don't know what the record is for this team, but as always, we should win. So anyway, as always, we are going to do, I'm just super proud of the kids. James had a game last night. Grandma and Grandpa are in town. James played his ass off. Super proud of him. I saw him just getting better and better every week. So, and for those that don't know, James is in 8th grade, and he started, training fairly early, but he's kind of taken to the weights a little bit. He's not over the top insane about it, but boy, does he like to take his shirt off, likes to show off his muscles. He just did a set of 25 on pull-ups, I think a week or two ago. My wife does some, trains James as she does. She trains the entire junior high football team. So she put James and another kid on a specialized program. I don't know what the hell it is, so don't ask me. But he did 25 reps in one set. It's pretty amazing. So super proud of him. All right, we're going to start, guys, with our music recommendations. I put the links to both of their Bandcamp pages in the description. So if you like any of this stuff or want to check it out, please do. I do not have any physical copies. It's a rare thing. I buy everything physical. So I actually printed off their album covers. And both these bands, 100% recommended. Fucking awesome bands and very different styles of music. So the first one is from Australia. This was released in 2016. The band is called Writhe. You can't even really tell. It's got a little face on there. And you can see Writhe right down there. Right, a one-man band. If you like nails, you will love Writhe. HM2 style guitars. Get in, get out. 5 songs in 5 minutes. Describe them like nails, hardcore, right? Grind, power violence, that style. And nasty riffs, amazing vocals. And I think I'm pretty sure he used a drum machine, but it doesn't sound horrible, like a horrible drum machine. I don't know how I found out about this band, but oh my God, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. If you want a soundtrack to getting punched in the face, this is it. Again, the band is Writhe. They've only got one release, and the album is called Writhe, and that's Writhe. Highly recommended. 5 songs, 5 minutes. An absolute bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. Let me just see if anyone's... There we go. Okay. The next one is, and I've talked about this band about 60 million times, so this is going to be no surprise for anyone that has followed my music recommendations. The band is called VRTRA, and that's VRTRA. If you look at that, which is funny because I just realized I've had this same background on my phone forever. That's the band VRTRA, VRTRA. The album is called My Bones Hold a Stillness. It was, again, released in 2016. When this came out, I couldn't stop talking about it. It is they have no other recorded material, just like Writhe. It's 3 songs, this time about 30 minutes, okay? So much different. Longer songs, drown out songs. Writhe is, get in, get out. I think this is as good of a blend of kind of doom, death, sludge, black metal, neurosis. It is unbelievable. If you guys like, I wrote it down here, Dragged in the Sunlight, Neurosis, Altar of Plagues, and Unearthly Trance, get this. Their songs are long, and normally long songs kind of wear me out sometimes if they're just long to be long. I don't like that. But these do not meander. All right, tremendous vocals. They have kind of a cleaner sound vocals occasionally, and then obviously a rougher, growly type vocals. And I'm telling you, the bass tone on this album is untouchable. One of the best parts is that bass is not all farty and twangy. They fucking put some distortion on it, and they play bass like they should play bass on a metal album. Not all jazzy, boop, 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 like you're playing a giant 9-string, ironing board or anything like that. It follows the guitar lines, and it thickens everything up. Tremendous riffs, but they also write good songs. I do not like bands that just write riffs. I think it's boring. Anyone can write a riff, but it's harder to write a song. Again, the band is VRTRA, VRTRA. I believe they're from California somewhere. This is all they've released. They have a couple, I think 1 or 2 live videos where they played, and surprisingly enough, I'm sure it was a tiny little venue. They're not a big band, and I'm telling you, whoever worked the sound on that did a tremendous job. Cannot recommend these 2 bands enough. VRTRA and Writhe, both released in 2016. As good, and I'm telling you, VRTRA is as good of a band, these 3 songs. In fact, if they couldn't match this quality, I'd be happy if this is all they've done. Because I think they had magic, and they caught lightning, so to speak, in a bottle. So anyway, all right, we're going to get started. As always, if you have a question, ask in the chat. I will do my best to answer it, and do so in my usual drony voice. So here we go. Albert Wang writes, "Hey Jim, I'm training beyond 531, each session working up to a PR set at the training max, followed by 1 to 2 joker sets, then down sets. Okay. My questions are, what to do in case I failed on the second joker set? B, can I cap my reps to 3 to 5 on the PR sets?" All right, Albert. He's got another question here, but let's answer this first. First of all, Albert, the Beyond training program must be auto-regulated every single day that you train. So you shouldn't be doing the same thing over and over again. You have to do what is appropriate for your readiness for the day, for the preparedness, and the readiness, your overall GPP, so to speak. And the down sets have to be complementary of not just the auto regulation, but have to be complementary of what works for that lift. Every lift's going to be a little bit different, right? So that you shouldn't just be always working up doing this, and you should never ever fail on a joker set. That's horrible training etiquette as far as I'm concerned. That means you don't know how to train correctly. You should know based on your bar speed on that first joker set, either to back off or not do anything. And you do not need to be doing jokers all the time, all right, at all. That's just an option that you can do. Just like you don't have to hit a PR set or try a PR set or try to do whatever. You work up and then you do what is necessary for that day based on your readiness. How do I know this? Because essentially that's all I do with people I personally train. All right, everything is auto-regulated based on what they can do that day. That's it. It's the easiest way, and I take the ego out of it because I'm deciding, and I don't care what weights the kids are using. I only care that they have a great training session. And when you understand that, everything magically falls into place. Your good days are great days, or your good days are good days, and your bad days are just solid days. And you never run yourself into the ground. So if you're having like a great day, you can go ahead and work up and do all kinds of crazy shit, whatever you want to do, because you feel good, it's going to be a good day. And then your assistance and supplemental work is solid. You're just having a great day. Maybe you can handle a little more supplemental work, so you do so. Other days, I've had kids work up. Oh my God, dude, it looks horrible. All right, we're going to stop right there. We're going to back off on the supplemental work. We're going to make sure that all your assistance work is solid, though. We're going to keep moving. And even then, when we do our Cryptea style programming, I watch their recovery. Every single set we fucking do, we watch recovery. And if the recovery is compromised, we just take longer rest breaks. I know what they need to be. So I'm not pushing all the time. I push when it's appropriate. All right, and some days, I tell the kid, like, listen, we're going to try this today, or I usually tell them a couple days in advance. So make sure you're ready. And then again, even if it doesn't work itself out, a couple sets go by and I'm like, this is not going to happen, then we still back off. All right. So Albert, you can't be just saying the Beyond program isn't just do this, do this, do this. It is do what is appropriate for every single lift on every single day. And you need to be understanding that. And again, you should never miss the Joker sets, ever, ever, ever. Joker set is just to practice doing singles at a heavier weight, not maxes, singles. Huge difference between those two things. Huge difference. All right. Can I do moderate load of farmer's walk on my non-lifting days for conditioning? You can. I'm not a huge fan of, not for everyone, for a lot of people, for doing farmer's walk for conditioning. Because I don't know if it's appropriate to walk with a heavy weight in your hands in a compromised position. And that's usually, at least when I've done conditioning, maybe my version of conditioning is different. You're out of breath and you're dying half the time, it feels like. And I don't so I don't think it's appropriate for a lot of people who can't even perform, for example, a fatigue deadlift. Once they get a little tired, their form goes to shit. I don't think that's appropriate for everyone. So can you? Yes, you could. I'd rather use it as an assistance movement. Doesn't mean you can't push it hard. Doesn't mean you can't be a little out of breath. But my version of conditioning, especially hard conditioning, you're going to be compromised a little bit. So make sure you have the strength and capabilities to perform the exercise so that when shit hits the fan, you don't get hurt. That's the best way I can say it. Okay, and I've done this. I've said it in books, and I've said it a million times in my writings and other podcasts. And I understand not everyone reads or hears everything, but just please understand. So can you? Yeah, you can. Just make sure it's appropriate. Ooh, here's another farmer walk question. Alessandro says, do you still think farmer's walks are a good assistance lift? Yes. There we go. That was easy. They fall under the single leg / core category. Yes. So yeah, still solid. You're good, Alessandro. Zooman. I hope you're not a zoophiliac. Is that what it is? What was that guy's name? Mr. Hands? Do you remember that? Don't ever look that up. Here we go. Morning, boss man. Running classic 531. I'm a high twitch type. High twitch. So fast twitch. Okay. Should I train any differently? Yeah, you have to do less volume, right? That's normal. Everyone kind of knows that. You don't do as much volume, especially on the main lift. You got to be a little smarter about that. You don't have to train as heavy, right? Everyone kind of understands that. And the other thing is, especially for your squat and deadlift, I think the most important thing, or one of the most important things, if you're fast twitch, you have to have such a strong ab and low back, because when you're transferring force from the bottom, which is usually an insanely explosive movement, right, coming out of the hole, it looks like you just got like shocked by 1,000,000 volts. Your upper back, but your midsection has to be super strong enough to account for that change of direction and that force that you're putting in, because that force is super explosive and it's obviously you want it to go into the barbell. If this falters at the bottom, especially if you're super explosive, everything's going to go to shit. And that was one of the big things I had to learn. Not saying I'm super fast twitch at all. I mean, I was okay. But that is a massive concern, and that needs to be addressed at all times. Now, I don't know, what your standards are or anything like that, but I always said you should be able to do 5 sets of 10, every 90 seconds, for example, on a glute ham raise sit-up with a 45-pound plate behind your head. You should be able to do 45-degree back raises with a barbell on your back with 135 for sets of 10, or 5, for one good set, or you can be able to do, again, 5 sets of 10 at 95. 50 reps of ab wheel with a 20-pound vest continuously, and then, for example, hanging leg raises done controlled, at least a good set of 20 to 25 reps. You guys know, so everything is under control and perfect. That's what I think are good standards. They may be a little high for some, and that's fine, but start with those movements to see kind of where you need to be. Oh, there's more here. Oh, I'm sorry, Zoom Man. My current squat 1RM is 450. I hit this summer, so you don't know if your squat max is 450. That was this summer. But in order to get plenty of reps on the 5, 3, and 1 sets, my training max is 370. What is that? Like 80 something percent, 83, 84. Should I be okay with lower reps on the no and keep my training max higher? Hell no. Listen, if you want to increase your training max, I would do that only if you want to get slower, if you want to stall really quick, if you want to get weaker, you want your knees and back and everything else to hurt. If those are your main concerns, like you really want to stall quick and be frustrated, go with the higher training max. So if not, no, you're good to go. Listen, I've said this a million times. The more explosive you are, the lower your training max percentage-wise needs to be. If so, how many reps should I target on the 5, 3, and 1? I really want to smash my old 10-pound PR that I set 10 years ago. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I would say I'd probably cap them at 10 so that each rep is super explosive. I'm sure if you're super fast twitch, your 1 rep max probably looks like you could do 10. It's like, that's fast twitch. That's how it is. So even on your 3x5 week, just set it at 10 so you have some restoration and you feel pretty good. Obviously, you don't have to push it that hard all the time. You're fast twitch. Again, abs and low back, and I would find some way of training your legs. We call it dumb leg strength, and making sure that is a obviously you're not going to continue doing the dumb leg strength if you're going to go to, I assume you're going to a meet or something like that. You want to, but that needs to be done, and it needs to be done with movements that are. Personally, if you're 36, I would do a lot of stuff that is easier on your recovery. So I would probably say like, leg press, the hack squat, the sleds would be awesome, would be super awesome for you, stuff like that. So that makes sure you're able to train your legs without the compromise of the nervous system. I guess that's the best way to say it. So again, keep that training max about where it is. And I would probably say if you're able to get 8 to 10 on that 95% week, I'd go up. Personally, I don't think you have to stress about your training max is fine. Your goal isn't, listen, the goal is to get stronger, right? That's the overarching theme of all this shit. But the training max is just a tool. You don't have to go up if you're not 100% ready to go. So if you got any of those weird reps, where you're like this, then just repeat the cycle. Make sure everything's solid. Train your assistants, train your abs and low back like you're going out of style. And then get your legs stronger, just overall stronger. Things start to work themselves out when you train with the appropriate weights. I am telling you, everyone asks me, when I look at, since I've been working with younger athletes and stuff, the number one issue just with programming is the loading. Like, hey, look at my kids. He's got shitty form. Well, it's because the fucking weight's too high. Just do the right weight. Magically, he's able to do it. Holy cow. So the same basic principles apply here. Don't be in a rush to add to your training max. Be a perfectionist in your sets, your squats, your assistants. Everything has to be fucking dead balls perfect. Have standards that are unimpeachable. So, all right, CPB Station sounds fancy. He asks, "Hello, Jim. I respect your work very much. I appreciate that. I just turned 40 in August and wanted to ask you, is going full walrus optimal, or can I pepper it with my 4-day split for a 5th day, 2 upper, 2 lower? Thanks." Listen, I can't convince anyone to do anything. You're not convinced because you still want to do it, and that's fine. If I would use the barbell for as long as you can. Yeah. So, and if you really want to do it, I would do your main lift. I would do maybe one assistance lift, like rows or something, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. And then just use the walrus stuff as assistance work and have some fun. And again, you don't have to do it all the time. Maybe twice a week, on your bench and press day or something like that. You could be, that could be your walrus time. Then the squat and deadlift, you could do just more traditional assistance work. I don't know if I would do a 5th day. I would rather just do it as part of your training because it will be stressful to you, and it needs to be accounted for. So that's what I personally would do. Try it twice a week. again, you choose whatever day that you want. And you just do your main lift, maybe one assistance lift that you need to do for whatever reason. I mean, rows come into, thinking about rows, dumbbell, single arm dumbbell rows, done heavy and all that other stuff, or dumbbell presses or something like that. Everything else you can probably pepper in with the walrus work. So for example, if you want to do pull-ups, or if you want to do push-ups or dips, or obviously like lunges, single leg work, you can just do that as part of your walrus stuff. So yeah, I think you're good to go. Wouldn't do a 5th day though. Don't worry, I wouldn't. Just keep it as part of your training. Okay, here we go. Logan Florence says, hello, Jim. Or sorry, hi, Jim. I'm doing an experiment of 500 workouts of 5 through 1. Working in jokers and FSL, working on whatever accessory I feel like that day. On 44, he's on 44 of 500. Any tips to get strong and jacked on this long-term plan? Yeah, I got plenty of tips. One, I wouldn't always do jokers. I think that's a huge waste of energy and time. Massive waste. In fact, I've said this before. I wish I would have never talked about jokers ever. The dumbest thing I've ever done on paper. I think they're smart if you do it right, and if it's for advanced lifters, but advanced lifters normally will go to do jokers anyway. FSL, I like FSL in some cases. I don't think it's necessary in all cases. So just understand that. My long-term plan, this is going to be super easy. Training max has to be super conservative. Body build your upper body and your lower body. More your upper body. I don't know, we would have to kind of understand, see where you're at, right? So that's number 2. Make sure your assistance work is done to get, you said jacked, you got to start pushing that stuff, and it's got to be uncomfortable. Don't have to do a million of everything. 2 to 3 assistance lifts. I usually say 2 to 4, but it's got to be pushed hard. The other thing is, it drives me nuts. Like someone's doing like dumbbell bench or hack squat. They get to 10 reps and they just rack the machine. Man, if you can do 15 and do 15, if you can do 30, just do 30. Stop. Like I'm just going to stop at 10. You're not going to get any bigger or stronger by just mailing it in all, on the assistance work all the time. The easy one obviously is eating. Make sure that, and I don't know how you're eating, but one of the things I was just thinking about this today when I was eating breakfast. I actually ate breakfast today, which ironically, you got to just make sure you're getting enough protein every single day. And so 500 days, I'd say, or 500 workouts, I'd say during that time, make sure you're about 95% compliant in getting the requisite protein every day. What that is for you, I don't know, but hey, if you can get 150 to 200 grams of protein every single day during this period, I think that would be awesome. And the third thing is make sure you don't ignore your conditioning work. Again, doesn't have to be running 60 miles or anything crazy like that, but make sure you're doing something 3 or 4 days a week. So that would be my advice. Conservative training maxes, push the, body build the hell out of the assistance, and making sure you're getting enough fuel. All right, that's my and good luck, Logan. Ooh wee. I don't know what 500 workouts would be. So what is that? It's like 3 or 4 years. I mean, I guess it depends on how many days you were lifting, right? So here we go. Hello, Jim, Northern Ireland checking in. Boop. I appreciate it. I did a little research on the on Northern Ireland. It's really bizarre how they had these 2 factions, and it's not just it's wildly different views. So it's crazy. I've been to Ireland, but I was in, what is it, Dublin? Is that where I was? Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you checking in, man. It's fascinating, and I don't know. I don't know. Are you? Isn't Liam Neeson from Ireland? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he just played people in Irish people. Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you. Albert says thank you. I appreciate it, Albert. Thank you. The pro says, I thought jokers could have up to 5 reps on each joker set. Yes, you can if you want. Yep, you can do that. Bought 3 of your, thank you, Carlos. Yes, you can do you can do whatever you want on joker sets, but generally it's done for a heavy single, not a max. Carlos says, hey, I bought 3 of your programs. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate that, Carlos. High school strength coach. I'm dealing with egos. Yep, that's how it goes. Getting the buy into going off training max has been rough with a handful. Do you utilize same training max over a few cycles? Yes, all the time. All the time. I don't know. I don't really have much advice, but I will say this, Carlos. I have the backing of our football coach, and our football coach is 1,000%. There is a standard and there's a way of doing things, and that's what we do. And if the kids either buy in and do it, or they get the hell out of there. Now, I give the kids plenty of opportunity if they want to go up or something. They're having a great day. I allow them to sometimes, not all the time. But you don't just get to do sets. And I've yelled at kids. I've said, listen, if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to coach you anymore because you're not willing to follow the advice that I give you. And so there's 60 other kids in here that need help. And listen, that's fine. You go ahead and do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to waste my breath. I'm not going to sit here and plead to a 16-year-old kid to please listen to me, please. What am I going to do? There's a lot of other kids in there. They can learn the hard way, or they can, get in line and get better. So I think there's this weird thing with coaches sometimes where like you're battling kids, like, why the kids never show up? Listen, I can't make them do the work. I'm not going to beg over and over again. The kids want to show up and kick ass. I'm 1,000% behind them. I will do whatever it takes. And the kids I work with will generally tell you, Coach Wendler does a lot, or he tries to do his best. That's what I try to do all the time. All right. And I've gone up and above the call of duty, so to speak. But I'm not going to sit there and just, be a stooge for a bunch of 16-year-olds. Sorry. If you want to help, I'm here. Let's go ahead. Let's all get it done. If not, what am I going to do? So, but like I said, without the head coach's advice, I think it's very difficult. So, all right, Zoo Man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the comment. You're gonna have to start believing in the system, man. That's the best way I can say, and that's what the kids have to buy into. Witcher Lambert says, "What do you think of the Fives Pro SLBBB leader with PR Joker?" Fives Pro. I don't know what SLBBB is. I got so many acronyms. But yeah, that's fine. As long as, Witcher, let me give you RPE-based assistance. Don't do that. Fucking train like a dude. Don't be RPE and everything. That's strange to me. Push your assistance like a dude. All right. Everything else is fine as long as your training max is awesome. If your training max blows, then it's going to suck. If your training max is conservative and you're doing smart things and your barbells, the speed is awesome and you're pushing hard. Remember, not every rep is going to be super fast, but you have to attempt to move that barbell with efficiency and smoothness. And again, I had to go over this on Monday with some of our younger kids. They think a fast barbell means they're just doing this. And I listen, you got to, on the way down, it's got to be super controlled. You got to build that tension. And I went over it. This one kid does a tremendous job of listening. He obviously struggles. He's young. And all of a sudden, I gave him some pointers on the trap bar. And all of a sudden, every rep was fucking perfect. Didn't know this dumbass wobble shit. Drives me nuts. That's just the lack of attention to detail, if you ask me. And I got it. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, I didn't even feel like I was doing anything. I'm like, yeah, that's what we got to build that tension. So again, I know this hasn't, not exactly what you want to hear, probably, but or not super specific. But yes, it's fine as long as the training maxes are good and every rep is done with intent. And just dump that stupid shit with assistance. Fucking just get pumped up, get jacked. Patrick Baynard says, Jim, you always talk about consistency, effort, and attitude. What's your best advice for applying those principles to achieve my goals and succeed in life, not just in training, but in everything I do? Boy. My best advice, I don't when I have a goal in mind, And listen, I'm not the best person about doing this. So please, Patrick, don't think that I'm like, Jocko or anything like that. How do I put this? So when let's say my wife and I we're talking about getting out another book, and she says laughingly, like, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times, because when I'm super motivated, so to speak, and I'm ready to go and I'm giving that consistent effort and attitude, I'm like all 1,000% in. Same thing when I was playing football, or when I was powerlifting. My best advice is you have to really believe and want what you're doing to the point where you're able to drown out all the noise. And one of the things I've been doing, it's probably a little over from a week from now, and I understand the irony in saying this. I'm stopped reading the news, and I stopped looking at any social media. The only thing I do is answer questions, and I'm hyper focused on getting the things I need to get done here. I'm not wasting any time. And I think my advice is, like, make sure you look at how you're spending your time in your life, and make sure, like, this is stupid, on your deathbed, you don't have any regrets as far as like, all that time I spent doing this, or being here, or going out and drinking too much alcohol. Like, make sure you're spending your time wisely, because that's the best commodity, I should say, the most important commodity that you own. And just make sure you believe in what you're doing. I'll give you an example. This is like a training example. When I was in high school, and I talk about non-negotiable training, I did this with Weight Fest and all this other stuff. I was so hyper-focused, and I believed in what I was doing, that I could have read any advanced study on a certain thing, and I would have never believed it. I didn't care. I'm doing this. I am 1,000% behind this. My belief drove me. I think that's what drove me for whatever little success I've had. Trust me, I'm not thinking I'm anything. So I know I'm not exactly answering your question, but you have to be so driven that the consistency and effort and attitude and have so much belief in what you're doing, that stuff should just come naturally. And again, I think one of the best things you can do, Patrick, to do that is to get rid of all the bullshit, man. And I'm telling you, I have no idea what's going on outside of my home, Mason, James, Big Mama, that's Juliet, the football team, and anything else that's generally happening in my world. And I know people will say that's stupid, you don't know what's going on. Listen, the same shit's been going on since I've been a kid. People are bitching at each other. There's trouble in the Middle East. Woo! Same shit's always been, all right? I'd rather get stuff done and live my life and do good things for the people around me. That's it. So I guess that's my advice. I've been reading more. That's awesome. Just drown out the crap, guys. And I know it's on YouTube and whatever. So I understand the irony. Anyway. Witcher Lambert says, hey, your books made me understand the most important thing out there is we add weight because we are stronger. Don't add weight just to get stronger. Yep. So thanks. Thank you, Witcher Lambert. I appreciate that. Listen, I'm going to tell you, like, this, every off season, or, I think I'm not going to learn anything. Or I'm like, what else am I going to do? And this past off season, I had this huge epiphany about training, and I don't really understand how to articulate it or write about it. But I understand, like, what we're going to do in this next off season is, we're not just going to squat and do some this. Like, we're going to train in such a way that our physical beings we're going to be fucking insane. That's my only goal. And I think I can do it. I'm still figuring out how to do it in giant groups. Because I've done it with some of the kids I work with in the garage, and I'm like, I think I might be able to pull this off in a large group setting. So I just look at training a lot differently than I did, obviously, like 2 years ago, but especially when I was first coming up. It's not just doing some squats and some this and whatever. Now that is appropriate for many people, but the way that I look at training now is it's like a practice and a session to improve your physical being beyond belief, and not just like feeling good and getting stronger. And then everything, when you do that shit, you get stronger, you put on muscle, you get in better shape, all that good stuff happens. Nantucket says, hey, Jimbo, thoughts on 3 days a week, 5-3-1, and 1 to 2 days of CrossFit per week? I don't even know what CrossFit is anymore, so it depends on what you do. I don't know. CrossFit is just like random shit all the time, so it's probably not a good idea. Again, I'm not sure how you define CrossFit. Just conditioning work, or is it like, are you gonna, like, let's say you're assume, you know, some of the workouts you do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to interfere with A, B, and C. So you'd have to be smart about what CrossFit is, I guess. Again, I don't know. CrossFit is so confusing to me. It's the exact antithesis. They want high levels of GPP, but they do nothing to get there. That's the best way I can say it. To me, it's ridiculous, but whatever. That's why they call me the boss. There you go, pro. The pro says, hey, I started lifting on September 15th when my school's gym opened for the new semester. All right. I haven't lifted for a year, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Being strong and moving forward is great. There you go. Hey, the only thing I'm going to tell you, pro, is if you have these extended periods of time where you don't have access to the gym, you got to find something to do. That's awesome. And I personally, if I were you, I would get access to a pull-up bar, push-ups, pull-ups, monkey bars, and I would find stairs or a hill or get a sled, or you can get a couple kettlebells and just become an absolute fucking unit using those things. And then I think it's an awesome idea, right? You kind of have seasons, so to speak. And then when school starts again, you can start doing normal lifting, so to speak. And I think your body will feel a lot better if more people did shit like that. It's one of the things I love about living in a living in a place that has different seasons is a lot of times I can't do, you know, a lot of my, for example, prowler work or climb the stadiums a lot when it's really bad. So I have to find different things to train. And but then when it is warm, I can do all, you know, different shit too. So I think it's kind of fun to vary some of the stuff. So, but good luck, pro. I appreciate it. Otto Van Schoon says, hey, I have epilepsy seizure disorder. Okay, I've been doing 5-3-1 for 10 years. It has definitely made my body bulletproof, and it has made it easy to recover from the falls. Oh shit, yeah, and other issues from epilepsy. That's awesome, man. Listen. I wouldn't want epilepsy or seizure disorder, but I will say this. Like, I got some shit news about something thought I was going to get surgery on, but they said it was too far gone. You know, I had Graves' disease and stuff, not a huge deal, but, you know, when you're young, and I'm not saying in any way this is comparable to you, but once I just said, fuck it, this is who I am, and just work around shit and just find the best way around it, and not feel fucking sorry for yourself. All right, that doesn't mean I don't have empathy for you. But listen, you're fucking training hard and you're like, man, I'm going to make these, when I have a seizure or something happens and I fall, fuck it, nothing's going to hurt me. So I think that's an awesome attitude to have. And instead, I'll be honest, you're not a fucking victim. You're Otto Von Schoon. Coolest fucking name ever. Dude, you should get a grind death band called OVS, but don't tell anyone your name. Like, fuck, dude, what does OVS mean? Like, dude, you don't even want to know. It's such a secret, you don't even know. So OVS, all right? You just do a one-man band like the band Writhe. Guitar, bass, get a drum machine, get some distortion on the vocals. You got to write 10 songs, 10 minutes. You'd be good to go. OVS, I can't wait. You guys hear about this new band called OVS? Fuck, dude. Unbelievable shit. I don't know who's in the band, though. All right, here we go. I appreciate you saying that, Otto. And good for you. Fucking working around, kicking ass, man. I love that. I absolutely love that stuff. The pro says, I've also been running for around a month. Oh, okay. I run 5 times a week and lift for 2. That's awesome. I want to be strong and fast. Most of my runs are easy runs, with 1 speed run and 1 long run a week. All right, there you go. You got it down, brother. I'm milking my newbie gains once again with Gray Skull IP or LP. I don't know what that stands for. And when I plateau, I'll switch to 5-3-1. Really excited to be strong and run a fast and run a mile and run a fast mile in a 10K. That's awesome. Good for you, brother. I always lose my space here. I saw the word milking and my mind immediately went dark. Oh shit, look at this motherfucker. So this next ding dong here, that's what I used to call him, Jonathan Schooley, coached, and I'm going to tell you an awesome story about Jonathan Schooley. His mom and my wife are good friends. I've coached both Schooley boys, and both have tremendous stories. And Judge Schooley, his dad, during COVID helped me out quite a bit. Fucking love that shit. Anyway, Jonathan Schooley, I want to say, and I could be wrong, Jonathan, I apologize, but I believe his sophomore year, he played JV, but he played sparingly on varsity, I believe. Oh man, Jonathan, I might fuck this. Anyway, long story short, so he didn't play much on varsity. Junior year rolls around, shit happens. He's the starting middle linebacker. Then we lose all our quarterbacks, and then he becomes the starting quarterback. And he did an unbelievable job. And that's a testament to how hard he worked. He believed in himself. He's got tremendous parents and a good support system too. Can't ignore that. And but when his time came, he stepped up and didn't puss out and didn't complain. And I always told him, I wish when he was a linebacker, we could have put it like he was a linebacker before, give him a huge neck roll. And then when he started taking snaps under center, I wish he could have been the first quarterback with a giant neck roll. But anyway, here he goes. What's up, coach? I want to stay strong and be in ridiculous shape. I have been lifting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I want to incorporate more conditioning with weight vests. Any suggestions? This is what I suggest, Jonathan. Have your people call my people. Let me know when, I don't know where you live. Fuck, I just realized that. All right, have your mom contact Juliet, and then I will call you. We'll talk, okay? Because and if you're in town, then you stop by. I don't think you're in town anymore. I want to show you some of the shit that I did. I'm sure I've been working with Zach. I just want to show you kind of the shit we've been doing, and I think you'd be blown away. You probably hate me for a little bit. But if you can't do that, this is what I would do. You lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll just answer this question. I would do main lift, so squat, bench, trap, or whatever you want to do, right? Maybe an assistance lift, and then just hammer the shit like we did during the season. Remember, during the season, we did some different shit with the weight vest. That would be your assistance. And with that assistance, Jonathan, I would go pick 3 movements, and you do 10 rounds of 3 movements. All right. Again, you gotta have to call me on this one. So I don't know how familiar you are. And then I would do that on your lifting days. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, if I were you, I would find some way to do one long weight vest walk. So like 5 miles. I think you will be able to handle that quite a bit. And that's a long fucking day. So make sure it probably Saturday. And Tuesday and Thursday, I want you to choose something like a treadmill sprint. For example, if you have access to treadmill, it doesn't have to be much, 10, 15-second sprints or something like that, all right? And then if you can do another day, like on Thursday or something, I would do, if you can get like a sled or prowler or something like that, or walk up a hill with the weight vest, that's what I would recommend. I do I do all the stadiums with the weight vest on. So again, lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 main lift, put on the weight vest, do our circuits like I did with you during the season. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 1 day, weight vest, long walk, 5 miles at least. 1 day, if you can get on a treadmill and do some like regular sprints like we did the 50s, doesn't have to be a lot. And then another day, if you can put on the weight vest and start climbing stairs or doing something stupid like that, or hills. So, and if you don't want to wear the weight vest, on Thursday when you do the hills, you remember we used to run hills. If you can get access to something like that, you don't have to put on the weight vest and just run. So I appreciate you, Jonathan, but have your people call my people. Woo-wee. Oh, it's awesome to see you, buddy. Thank you for being part of this, man. You're a huge part of my life, believe it or not. You're one of the greatest success stories. And your brother, dude, I'll say this, Jonathan, if you're listening, Cutler actually said something nice about your brother, and he doesn't say anything nice about anyone. So That's just have the utmost respect for you, brother. All right, here we go. Ow. Again, that's gold, as everyone knows. Says, Jim says, I can do any push-pull single leg core, but I find it confusing to choose, especially the supplemental work. That's different. Are there any guidelines to decide better? Nice hat, by the way. All right, well then just pick exercises for push-pull single leg. If it's confusing, just choose on this day I'm going to do this, on this day I'm going to do that, and this day I'm going to do that. There you go. And you can just vary them. So if you lift 3 days a week, one day you do dips, one day you do dumbbell bench, the other day you do push-ups. On pull, one day you do curls, one day you do rows, and one day you do lat pull downs or chin-ups. On single leg core, one day you do ab wheel, one day you do lunges, one day you do 45-degree back raises or back raises. There you go. So that would be my best advice. My best advice is just choose 3 things. You lift 3 days a week, one to put in either one, and just go ham loaf on it. Carlos says, what are your thoughts on supplemental lifts like front squats for back squats for main lift for a wave and rotating back? That's totally fine. There you go. We talked about this last week, but yeah, totally fine to do that. I think more people should do that. Have some fun and just do whatever you want on the supplemental stuff and just have some fun. Be creative. DB says, good morning, boss. What are your go-to landmine handles? Neutral grip, ape hangers, normal T-bar, pronated. I guess I have ape hangers and I have the one that looked like this, that just neutral grip. I guess that you have that. Yeah, just neutral grip. That's it. I don't think it matters at all. As long as you feel like it feels like a good flow to you. If the more variation you can have, not during the workout, but from day to day, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that's terribly hard to handle, or you don't need to go bananas with that. So whatever feels comfortable and ones you want to do, that's my go-to. So, Josh Duvall says, no question, just wanted to say good stuff. Well said. I appreciate that, Josh. Patrick Baynard says, thank you, Jim. Your advice means more than you think. Appreciate it, Patrick. I probably wasn't able to articulate as well as I do. A lot better if I can sit down and write stuff out. But anyway, I appreciate that, Patrick. Emil says, hey, Jim, started doing long, intense runs on the weekends, 4 to 6 miles max intensity, since it's mostly races where I can't run easy. Can I keep my leg strength, or is it a rule that I'll get weaker? I don't know, because I don't know what your readiness and preparedness is, right? So as an example, mass example, if I had to go run 4 to 6 miles, my leg strength would be absolute shit. If I asked Mason to go run 4 to 6 miles, nothing happens, right? Because he's in tremendous shape. If your body's not accustomed to it, yes, you're going to get weaker. That's the way it goes. But because your squat obviously is not the priority at all, right? Obviously running the miles is, so that's where the focus has to be. So, but I will tell you this, I don't think in order to get better at running, you don't need to run max intensity all the time. I think that's a very poor way of doing it. Just like you don't max out, right, every single day. If you got a meet on Friday, powerlifting meet, you don't bench max out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then expect Friday to be very good. So I think you got to find a way to change your runs so you have like a lighter day, a medium day, and then like a sprint day, and then work with that, because your body's going to recover much better. There's Otto Von Schoon, our boy in OVS. Every picture you take's got to be like really dark, ominous, and but just don't take it in like abandoned, where they used to take them, like industrial centers. Remember that? That was like a big thing, guys, but that's where they take their band photos. It's ridiculous. Like they lived there. Man, most of those guys live with their parents in their basement. Jonathan says, thanks, coach. I will be in touch. I appreciate it, Jonathan. Ryan asks, Do you see any value to the power clean? Hell yeah. Yes. Or are jumps, throws, and getting stronger enough? They're both great. I think the power clean, hang clean, all that stuff is awesome. I loved doing hang cleans. Loved. Love them. So yeah, I think they're awesome. But in no way do I think they are necessary. Listen, like, again, this is hard for me to articulate. When I'm working to get someone awesome, I just use whatever means I need to, and I don't think there's anything I need to do 1,000% or like we're not going to reach the goal, because I don't think that's the goal. The goal is to become physically amazing, and we can do that in a million different ways. All right, like one of the things I'm trying to think outside the box like a motherfucker for this next off season, and I came up with something. I was like, oh my god, can I do that? Because we're not be doing this, and I'm like, who gives a shit? My goal is to develop 60 dudes who are absolute pipe hitters physically. Do I need the power clean? So that means, like, back in the day, everyone remembers the guys that are my age that have been around. Like the NSCA was just constantly filleting the power clean. You're not going to get any better or faster if you don't do the power clean or whatever. Fuck that. That's not true. I've seen plenty of guys kick a ton of ass without the power clean. So are they good? Hell yeah. Just like squats are awesome. Love squatting. Are they necessary? Nope, they're not necessary. I can still work around that. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So just understand that, guys. Like, I love the bench press. The kids love the bench press. I love being able to let the kids bench because they love doing it. I will train that super hard because the kids like to do it. Keeps the kids coming in. Do we absolutely need to do the bench press? No. How's this? We rarely do any RDLs or anything like that. Somehow we win a lot of games. According to lore, right, training lore, if you don't do RDLs or glute ham raises, you'll fucking never win a game ever. Ever. Especially if you don't have all 5-star athletes. Well, that's ridiculous. All right, we're just getting physically better. However we do that, we'll use whatever exercises we need, what we have access to, what you can do. Right? Not everyone can do some of these exercises for whatever reason. And they get so, and yes, I think obviously barbell lifts are awesome, right? They're super efficient. You can handle a ton of weight, but they're not necessarily necessary. In the scope to become an absolute pipe hitter, the only thing that we need to do is do some kind of resistance training in a fashion that allows you to build a tremendous base of GPP. So, all right, here we go. What is the single album you've listened to the most in your life? Oh boy, I can probably point to like 10. Morbid Tales, Celtic Frost. Probably Rain and Blood. All the I Hate God albums, the first 3, I should say. Oh boy. I've listened to a ton of the first album from Crippled Black Phoenix, which is completely ridiculously out there. I know I'm missing a ton. Vision of Disorder, Imprint, listened to that a whole bunch of times. I mean, a lot. Yeah, I think those, I'm sure I'm missing about 5 or 6 of them. Peace Sells by Megadeth. When I was younger, I listened to that a lot. And ironically, there's 2 songs in there I don't like. And one is Peace Sells, the boom, boom, dun, 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 dun. Don't like that song at all. Always fast forward through that. And then obviously, I Ain't Superstitious. But every song on Peace Sells, unbelievable. Good Morning Black Friday, awesome. The Conjuring, are you shitting me? Oh my God, The Conjuring, what a song. Fatal Portrait and probably Them by King Diamond, a lot when I was a kid. A lot of this is older stuff. Again, I'd have to kind of go through. What about, De Mysterious Dom Satanas? Holy shit, have I listened to that a lot. You know what? Widowmaker by Dragged in the Sunlight. Especially for training, because it starts off with that super beautiful passage in the the first part of that song. So when I'm starting to get warmed up, I'm hearing it, and then you got those 2 bangers right after. So, yeah. Scissor Fight, Balls Deep. Oh, my God. And ironically, my least favorite song on that album is Balls Deep. So, Balls Deep. Balls Deep. All right. Anyone else? It's 10:56. So if anyone has any more questions, please ask. You know what? My favorite album is fucking OVS. Their first album. Their demo. OVS is demo. I don't like them anymore. They're too popular. Sorry, Otto. You got too good, too popular for your own shit. So that's my favorite. I only listen to demos. Dude, I guess you say Pantera, right? Far Beyond Driven. And that you listen to that a shitload. I got to meet Pantera many years ago on that tour, and I was home from school, and I went to Chicago, and I got to meet them at an autograph signing, and that's when me and Phil Anselmo traded shirts. He liked my shirt, and then we met nipple to nipple, and then we're like brothers forever. We're nipple bros. So, Jesse Driscoll says, "Hey Jim, I seen a picture of you in a red Under Armour shirt coaching football. Just want to say you look amazing, bro." I'm not sure what Under Armour shirt I'm wearing. I'll be honest, I just wear what they give me. I don't know what brand it is. But I do look amazing, yeah. I love you, man. Man, I'm getting old. Man, when you see yourself in this camera every week, and oh, God, it sucks. Oh. I'm just happy I'm still alive. All right, Alan, but thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. Alan Rahu says, I feel like I got a cat hair in my nose. What kind of supplemental work do you usually use with your athletes? Now, Alan, I don't know what you mean by supplemental work. You mean assistance work, or are you talking about supplemental work in the 5-through-1 program? Because that's a little different. So, Alan, if you could answer that, make me super happy. That way I can answer your question. Jesse McGill says, "Good day, Jim. I wish you had 2 other brothers, Jesse, then you could call yourself the McGill 3. What books are you reading?" I'm rereading one of my favorite all-time books. And ironically, this is, this is my bookmark. I figure it's appropriate, right? The Mind Warfare sticker. Yes, love this book. One of my top 3 of all time. War by Sebastian Junger. And anyway. Okay, Alan says supplemental like FSL or Boing but big. We will occasionally do some FSL work with the bench, but we don't do that with the squat. So we are going to do something different this year, or next year I should say, and I'm still trying to figure out. It's going to be completely out of left field. That neither has a main work sets or FSL. It's going to be weird. So hopefully that I can do that. So yes, FSL, some stuff for the bench just because the kids like to do it, but we don't do anything for the squat usually or the deadlift. Otto says he's a complete sellout. I fucking know it. OVS is the Taylor Swift of death metal. Yeah, Taylor Swift. I don't know. I don't know a single Taylor Swift song, and I'm not saying that. I have no idea. It's such a weird world that I'm not part of. I'm sure I've heard a song, right? But I don't know where I would hear it. It's not like, I don't know, maybe like in a store or something, right? All right, Ricky Silver. Boy, does that sound like a fucking name right there, huh? Ricky Silver. That's a tough sounding name, brother. Rick Silver. Oh. Detective Rick Silver. He plays by his own rules. Not a question, just want to say thank you. I appreciate that, Detective Silver. Started 5-through-1 OG 10 years ago, bought Forever Book in 2022. Never fully adopted it. I can say 3.5 years later, I'm now starting to get it. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Ricky, it's taken me a shitload of time to figure anything out. And it's just a process, and there's no, I hate to say it, but it's just the journey, and there's no forever answers, right? You just kind of go and you keep on trying to expand and learn. And then I was lucky enough to be able to start coaching because all this new stuff I wanted to do, I couldn't do on myself anymore, right? I'm not a 16-year-old athlete anymore or stuff like that. So it's awesome to be able to keep learning and keep trying to pass it on. So, but I appreciate that, Ricky Silver. Thank you. Jesse McGill says, I do have 2 brothers. Fuck yeah, the McGill 3. TJ says, hey, hope you're keeping well, Jim. I appreciate it. My knee is currently a bit banged up from pushing squats. What would you sub in for the squats whilst I work on the knee? I don't know what you can do. As always, we say train in what is trainable, right? So I don't know what you can do. I would probably opt for some kind of sled work, right? That generally helps people's knees quite a bit, both dragging forwards and backwards. If I were you, I would probably push and pull a sled. If I were you, I would probably do a mile 3 times a week and just alternate pushing, pulling forward, pulling backwards. You can take breaks and everything like that, but that's what I would probably do. The other thing is some kind of hamstring work, like leg curls or glute ham raises, as long as it doesn't fuck up your knee. That's what I would probably opt for. But just make sure whatever you're doing is not affecting your knee and that you can train it fairly hard. So again, if I were you and I still was pushing squats and stuff like 3 days a week, probably a mile at a time. And again, you don't have to just keep on doing it. Just start with a half mile or something like that and work yourself up so you're keeping your legs incredibly strong and conditioned. Oh my God, I got cat hair. I swear to God, people, I'm not doing coke. El Mero. Good morning, senor. Would the log press be used instead of bench for 5 through 1? If so, same principles? Yes. Also, if 315 on bench is you made it, what weight would you say is for log press? Boy, I don't know. I don't know. That's, I don't know. Is you just talking about, or is it clean and press or just pressing overhead? Yes, so you can train the log press just like you would a barbell. Not a big deal. I don't know about that. It's way out of my league. And I don't know if you can use your legs or not. I would, honestly, my bench weight would be 405. That's not to take anything away, but I think 405, and I'd say log press or any overhead press would be 300 pounds. I think that's, now again, not everyone's supposed to be like that at all. And I think like you really made it, but that would probably be for me, what I would probably say. If not, then 225 for the log press, right? We'll just keep it simple. Phil Booth says, hey, Jim, in the 2x2x2 workout from Beyond with 1 upper workout and 1 lower, would you recommend adding some upper assistance to lower body and vice versa to increase the frequency? If you need to. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And it kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't, especially lower body, because you're doing 2 days of pretty tough conditioning, and that's lower body intensive, right? You can do it for upper body if you want. Yeah, but it kind of defeats the entire purpose of all that stuff. So, but yeah, if you want to and you feel like that's super important, go ahead and do it. Just remember, you're going to have to take something out of your workout if you're going to add something in. That's the way it always goes, guys. The recipe must be pure. So I hope that helps you out there, Phil Booth, brother of, God, what was his name? Paul Booth, the tattoo artist. He's bananas too, huh? Paul Booth needs to do a little working out. All right, anything else? It's getting near closing time. As again, you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. I will stick around for a little bit, see if there's anything else. Yep, all right. Oh, I'm sweating my ass off right now. Oh. Of course, I have a sweatshirt on. It was cold when I started, motherfuckers, so don't judge. That's one thing we do a good job of. I told my wife, I don't care what I want it freezing in my house when I'm sleeping. I'm not going to save $40 and start sweating. I'll do a little extra work. Anyway, you should, oh my God, my parents when I was growing up, oh my God, the winter time was so fucking cold in our house. My sister, in a very passive-aggressive way, like if we're watching a movie, she would come in with mittens, scarf, full jacket in her pajamas and stuff. It's fucking ridiculous. And then in the summertime, good Lord, just soaked with sweat. Oh, when you're sleeping, it was miserable. And I like to sleep with some kind of cover, so like you're just, everything sucks. Oh my God. Yeah, I had one of my good friends when he was, his house didn't have air conditioning. He had a 2-story house, obviously older house, didn't have air conditioning. I remember staying over the one night. I remember that because I was so hot. We're on his bedroom was on the 2nd story. That was the first day I realized the power of the mind. And I know this is a really stupid story, but I was laying there and it was like 85 degrees in there. And I remember just repeatedly saying, I am cold, I am cold, I am cold. I must have been probably 6th or 7th grade or something like that. And all of a sudden I was like, because I heard about that shit, but I didn't actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, eventually, like after 5 minutes, I started shivering. I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. So anyway, I've been doing a lot more mindful, kick-ass breathing. I have a breathing thing that I do since I've been like a sophomore in high school, and I kind of starting to practice that, and man, I already feel better. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get going here. No questions. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Do something dumb conditioning-wise or some kind of challenge this weekend if possible. Love you guys. Thank you for everyone for asking questions or just watching. If you're watching this on YouTube in a recording, check out those bands below. Good luck to anyone playing this weekend. Love you. Later, guys.